We're recording a podcast together again.
Here we are.
This week.
It's us. Oh my god.
Hello, welcome to episode 4. Very formal.
Formal.
I'm Sid. He's Trey.
Wait, was that a pun on four? Four as in formal?
No,
I get it. Four.
I do.
Okay, I'm done.
I do get it. Very good.
I wasn't sure if I was clear enough on that.
This is the first week that I've been like, I've written down shit in my memo pad, and I'm excited to do the podcast.
Oh, so like the previous ones you weren't excited, but now you are?
Well, like now I have things to like actually talk, because the last weeks we've been just like, okay, we have our like backlog from over the break, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, we can go through that. And it's like, oh, and maybe we can talk about random stuff we've done this week. And KO is here. We'll talk to KO about random. We'll talk about his cover page that has Mario and Sonic holding hands.
That sounds hype.
Yeah, and we could talk about that stuff. But this week we have I have stuff, and you have stuff. You told me you had stuff.
We've got quite a bit of stuff, but probably some of it overlaps.
I can't imagine.
Really? You don't have, for example, the Steam Deck announcement?
No, I didn't write that down.
You didn't write that? That's huge. That's huge.
I've been seeing tweets about it, but no, I've not read it.
That is like the biggest gaming news recently I can think of. So basically, history is repeating itself. And you know how when Nintendo made the Wii with the Wiimote and stuff, then PlayStation, or Sony rather, was like, yo, we got to make the PlayStation Move.
I was waiting to see if you remembered what the move was called.
Okay. And that took me a second. Yeah, you're right.
Like the PlayStation Move.
I was like, I know. I've actually played with the Move one time because my friend had it. We played like some Frisbee game or something. It was pretty good, I guess. But yeah, basically Sony was like, okay, we got to make our own dildo controller because Nintendo was like really popular.
Hey, they had a ball. It had a ball at the end of it.
Yeah, it looked even more like a dildo. Just to really.
It was different.
And then, obviously Microsoft had Kinect, which was like, we're going to take the controller out of the picture entirely. And we're also going to advertise the Kinect with games that will never actually exist just to make it look really hype. That was kind of fun.
And we're going to make it so that it spies on you 24/7 and everybody's going to be creeped out by it.
And little did people know that was actually the future right now with social media.
Yeah,
and
dude,
stuff like that.
I remember Kinect stuff is just like, oh, it knows if you're happy or sad, and it's just like, oh no,
dude, that kind of stuff sounded so cool back then, but in hindsight, that's just like, yeah.
I remember podcasts talking about it being like, this is the creepiest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Well, yeah, because they're intellectuals, but I'm talking to the common man. They're like, whoa, it's so futuristic.
The common man was so excited about Kinect, that's why it failed. So. Wait, no, did it fail? I don't even know.
It sounded hype in trailers, but people quickly realized how lame it was.
Yeah.
But actually, the Kinect did get used for like various third-party utilities. I forgot what they were.
Yeah, I remember there were like stories about not surgery on a grape. I thought of surgery on a grape, but like surgery in general.
The Kinect was used for surgery on a grape.
Dude, that'd be so sick if surgery was done on a grape with a Kinect.
That's where it came from. Holy crap.
That'd be so funny.
Thanks, Microsoft. But no, so the next iteration of people trying to be the next Nintendo, even though Steam already wildly successful with PC games and stuff, or like their catalog of them, they made the Steam Deck, which the biggest meme now is, oh, the Nintendo Switch Pro is finally here.
I actually know nothing about the Steam Deck. I've seen random tweets about it being like, oh, I can't get any because they're out of stock already. But other than like the release trailer, I kind of looked at it and I was just like, oh, this is Switch-ish, but I didn't really look into it that hard.
I could see it being I didn't really look into that many articles or anything. I only saw a screenshot of what it looked like, and I read short blurbs on Twitter. But I don't really know what like the two, I'm assuming they're trackpads or something, the two squares below the analog triggers. Mm-hmm. Some kind of, because you don't have a mouse and keyboard. You gotta have some kind of like more accurate way to have a mouse-like movement that's not an analog stick somehow.
Yeah, it does look kind of like I don't know the PlayStation 5 controller, but the little touchpad in the middle of the. I'm looking at a picture right now.
I'm assuming it's similar to like, you remember the Steam controller?
Yeah, vaguely.
There was a Steam controller that never really took off, and it had circular areas where I think the analog stick would go, which was kind of like a trackpad-esque, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm assuming it's something like that, maybe probably better now, though, because technology has advanced since then, maybe.
AXB. This is the same layout as an Xbox One controller or an Xbox controller. The same button layout.
I could see this Steam Deck being useful for games that are less APM intensive, that don't really need the keyboard and mouse setup, such as Amogus, for example. Pretty basic.
Yeah.
But when you get like a really hardcore game, I don't know if this is going to cut it, honestly, like on the go.
The weird thing about, like, you and I would define us, we're not like PC master race.
Oh, hell no. I'm still brainwashed by Nintendo slightly.
Well, I'm sure, like, I don't think I am, but I'd like to think that, like, I've talked about how many times I've played just on controller for games that I should not use controller for. And, like, Vanquish I just finished, I played totally on controller. It's a third-person shooter, and you could theoretically play it on mouse and keyboard on the PC, but I just didn't. So I'm not really that guy. Like, I look at the Steam Deck, and I'm just not interested in the fact that it probably won't be very useful, right? It's like VR, when it's fully integrated, like, sure, when every game uses it and it's actually worth getting, maybe I'll be like, oh, you know what? I'll save $2,000 or whatever. I don't know how much like a VR headset is nowadays, but this Steam Deck, I'm just like, I don't know. I have controllers. I don't need anything like super mobile. Like, who's this for?
I'm trying to think of, I think some games on Steam might have a utility of lending themselves to being played in a mobile environment, an environment that's not just your PC setup.
I feel like it just depends on the person, because I know people have talked about the Switch being like, man, I want to upgrade to the new Switch or get a new Switch because my battery keeps dying. And I'm just like, I have never, like, I haven't taken it out of its dock since I have no idea when. Like,
see, I used the handheld features of the Switch very frequently when I went on vacation with my family the January before COVID started, which was really good timing, by the way.
Yeah.
I was on my Switch pretty much the whole plane ride there and back, and I played Baba Is You. It was really fun.
Is there a Steam game that you can think of where it's just like, oh man, if I had that on the go?
Dude, you could have The Witness on the go.
Oh, The Witness is so good.
Think about that. See, I'm telling you, there's certain games, we typically think of just the typical FPS or general PC game, but Steam covers like a huge breadth of stuff to like even super casual that could be on the go. I could see it being used for that.
Man, I want to play Witness on the go now and from the beginning without knowing
and
anything
also
about it.
Men in Black brainwashed myself so I could experience it again.
Yeah, that's exactly.
That'd be great.
It's like when I played Ocarina of Time. When I recently watched a video about, what was it called? It was like a Silva Gunner song parody changed my life or blew my mind. It was like recommended to me on YouTube, and he talked about how, like, in his story beforehand, he was like, oh, the first time I played SM64, after I finished SM64, I went to bed and cried.
Jesus.
Like, about the fact that he had finished the game and couldn't experience it ever again. And I think I was 6 years old, so I don't know, but I think I did something very similar with Ocarina of Time.
I have never done that. I'm always just sort of relieved to finish a game, honestly.
Well, that's same here. I finished Vanquish this week, and I was just like, yeah, I'm kind of glad it's like, I'm glad they ended up ending it there because.
See, I think that I was so bad at games as a kid. I was more just relieved or even amazed at myself for managing to finish a game. I don't think I had the same emotions.
Well, yeah. I guess you're right. But what was my point?
The feeling of like, oh my god, I can't experience it again. Boo hoo.
Oh yeah, Witness.
The Witness.
Dude, Witness 2. Oh man, I would buy, if Witness 2 got announced within the next 3 days. I would take it as a sign from God and buy the Steam Deck.
See, I've actually seen Jonathan Blow, the creator of that game. He streams every now and then. Sometimes just like a PC game, sometimes coding, which I couldn't care less about because I don't code. Yeah. But I mean, if he were to make another game, I doubt it would just be a direct sequel to The Witness, but probably some other puzzle game of some sort.
Yeah.
I just don't know if he has plans of doing that. Maybe he has announced it. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure he made like an insane amount of money off of The Witness because it was him and like a very small team, and it was pretty successful considering the size. Considering we're talking about it 5 years later, and Epic Games.
He didn't make money for me though. I got it for free on Epic Games.
Well, Epic Games paid him a lot of money, probably.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
there you go.
Like, hey, can we put your game on our store? It's like, sure, for free. Yeah, okay, you have to pay us. Like, yeah, okay.
All right, $1 million. Boom.
Boom. You know,
easy.
But Witness 2, Jonathan, if you're listening, blow it up. You know,
blow it up, Jonathan. Blow.
Blow it up.
As you do. I also played Braid, his first game, and that was really good. It's pretty short, but it's pretty fun.
There are some games that I've seen Braid. I've seen footage of Braid. I just don't have any interest in going.
It's literally, you can finish the game in one sitting. It's like a really short, just like sort of time-based. You can fast forward and rewind time is like the main mechanic. It's kind of cool.
I don't think that sells me as hard as you think it would.
The fact that you can beat it
you
quickly,
can finish this really fast. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's not like a daunting task that would take you weeks, is what I'm saying.
I don't know.
Time is valuable.
I think,
especially as you get older. And by the way, happy birthday.
Happy birthday to me. Yay, it's
your
my birthday.
Literally today.
As we record, it is my birthday. I've been fielding texts being like, happy birthday. We haven't seen each other since pre-COVID. And I'm just like, sick. Thanks for the birthday wishes.
It's going to continue to be that way.
It's like, when are we hanging? And I'm just like, I don't know, man.
I don't know, man. That Delta variant's coming back and my back hurts and I don't know.
But yeah, this is my birthday. Yeah, doing nothing for today because I had to do a bunch of stuff.
Watching Melee.
Yeah, I'm watching a little bit of Melee. It is BTS, or it's Beyond the Summit today. Summit.
Did you have like one more thing about Jonathan Blow, or can we talk about Melee?
Yeah, we can talk about Melee. We were talking about the Steam Deck, and then I wanted to talk about the Witness for a sec. Sure, go.
So I watched actually a fair bit of Summit yesterday. I was going to stream yesterday because I did a stream 2 days ago. But dude, and I'll get into this later, my arms are still like crazy sore from my first time going to the gym in literally 11 months.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I don't feel like, I'd rather just kick back and watch this Melee stream. And it was the first day of singles with various matchups. I was actually on a pretty hot streak on channel point predictions. I was pretty... I'm super lame, though, with predictions. I always go like a fraction of my total just so I don't lose it all.
Yeah,
and Sid's the very opposite.
I always bet it all, and then I lose it all, and then I'm sitting there with 12 channel points being like, great. All right, well.
But then I'm always like, I regret that I didn't bet more. Until I lose, and I'm like, okay, thank God I didn't bet at all.
Now I'm on a streak of not betting. Like, I see the bet show up, I'm just like, no. Like, I can't. I don't care. Like, channel points... I've gone on this roller coaster with channel points where I had 1.7 million in Ludwig's channel, and I just
was that enough to get a VIP chance?
I don't think anything was. I don't think he had any channel point rewards at that point, but I
could have sworn he did, like VIP, like 50-50 or something.
I don't know. For whatever reason, I threw it all away, and then I was just like, well, I have no points, and then I was like clawing it back up. I don't know. It's just, it's too much. If this was real money, I'd be so broke, and it's the worst. So I just kind of ignore it now.
Don't gamble, kids.
Yeah, don't treat your channel points like you would, like, just don't respect them, and then you'll treat your money better. That's what I've learned.
And also, be sure to grind King Boo ILs, which is literally a slot machine.
Yeah, that is pretty funny.
That's free, except it costs your time.
But
anyway,
we've been watching
Melee,
Summit.
Or what have you watched on Summit?
I watched a lot of day one. I had it like in my ear while I was working and watching periodic sets. Like I watched Mango versus HBox. I watched Moki versus HBox. Like I was sitting there. I was the cheering against HBox or like cheering against going back to the norm, really. I didn't want HBox to come back and everything just to come back to normal. I was just like, please. If HBox won both sets, like he beat Moki in like a very close set, and then he lost to Mango, like 3-1 or something, and then Mango came up to the mic and was just like, "Oh, it's good to win when you're playing bad."
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
Hbox
so
came up
BM.
and it was just like, "Oh, what did Mango say?" And it's just like, "Oh yeah, he said it's good to win when you're playing bad." And he just like looked off, being like, "What the fuck?"
No, he was like rent free.
Yeah. And but yeah, I just really didn't, not for like I hate Hbox reasons, just like I just didn't want it to be like, oh well, now we're just back where we were.
But nowadays it's actually kind of cool to like Hbox because he's gotten such a big stream following.
Yeah.
He's very polarizing. Either you love him or you hate him.
I don't either. He exists. He's a guy.
Or you're Sid, and he exists.
But to be fair, I'm not even like a huge Mango fan anymore. I don't even know who I am a fan of any. I just like watch Melee and go like, oh, that was interesting. Like I just want.
Yeah, I typically just root for the underdog or the person I put channel points on.
Yeah, I just want. What was his name? Kotaro, the Kadoran. When he was up against Hbox today, this is day 2 Summit we're recording. We haven't watched. Obviously, day 3 hasn't happened, so we don't know who wins Summit.
Yeah, when this goes up, finals will have been over and stuff, but we haven't seen that yet, obviously.
But so. I was watching him play Hbox, and he took game 1, and I was like, oh, I want the upset for upset's sake. Like I'm down to watch SFAT beat. Actually, no, I'm not. Like I've talked about it on the podcast before, but I just want the person who is least likely or most likely to do better in bracket to win.
Mm-hmm.
So like. I don't know. Or like the major upset.
Right.
Like I don't want somebody to win and then just immediately suck. Like, oh, like if Axe beats IBDW and goes up against Mango, maybe there's like some sort of potential there. But like IBDW beats Axe and then probably loses to Mango. So I'm cheering for Axe in that scenario, kind of a thing. Maybe not nowadays. Maybe that's not what the reality is now, but like a year and a half ago, that would have been.
Yeah, I guess I have a few key bullet points. First of all, Plup is insane. I just saw him beat IBDW. I put points on him too, and they paid off. And his Sheik is just like the more that I play Sheik, whenever we just play for fun, the more I just am amazed by Plup's Sheik. It's so fast. I don't know how he does it.
He's a fast man. Really good.
And the main person of interest for me this summit is definitely Kadoran. I've been watching a lot of his sets, and his Mars just seems so crisp, like even to a greater extent than Zane in some scenarios. Like he just looks like he always knows what he's doing. And I've never heard of Kadoran until literally this tournament, so it's crazy to me.
Yeah, same. Like they were just like, oh, he's a new kid. I'm like, oh, how new? And it's just like 4 or 5 years. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Dude, to be at a top level in Melee, it requires like at least a few years under your belt.
It is pretty funny, like the difference in, like I've probably said it before again, where it's like we're old boys in Super Mario Sunshine and we've been playing for 7 years, 8 years.
Yep.
And an old boy in Melee is 20 years old, like 90. Like
yeah,
Chillin' Dude's been playing since day 1. Blah blah blah.
We definitely covered this like in the Chillin' Dude episode in season 1. Just the difference in. Chillin' obviously is a super old boy in Melee. He's been playing it since pretty much it came out. But like we considered boomers of the Sunshine community, we're like nowhere near the number of years required to like be considered that in Melee.
And you know what? I'm gonna be fair to the Melee players. They're way more passionate towards their game than we are towards ours.
Oh yeah, because they have to be like at the top of their game.
Like they're going to weekly tournaments. They're like practicing all the time. Like if I had to practice, like quote unquote practice as much as, or what I would consider practice as much as Melee players do for their game, then I wouldn't do it.
Even at the peak of my practicing, which was probably 2014, when I was relentlessly grinding 120 shines to improve my time in that, I was nowhere near what these Melee players do, like playing 8-9 hours a day plus, like doing it full time.
Yeah.
I mean, even though like I was a college freshman in 2014 and I had arguably the most free time I've had in my whole life. Like I had just so much time because my classes were so easy. But even then, like, and I was so passionate about it, it doesn't even compare to some Melee players.
It's like KO was talking about last week. Where it's just like,
yeah,
if you don't want to put the time, like some days, and I did just randomly do a 12-hour Bianco Hills 100 coins IL stream like where I was just doing
You're a
Bianco
madman,
hundreds
by the way.
for 6.5 hours, and then there was a half-hour break, and then another 6 hours. So it ended up being my longest stream of all time, just randomly. At like 11 p.m. I started the stream, and then just went until 2 p.m. the next day, and not because I like had to practice. I just did it. But now I haven't played the game in 2 days. Like, I don't know. It's very off and on. But for Melee, you have to be very on a lot of the time. Like, you can take breaks, obviously, but it's not like... You have to be very passionate about it.
And now that I work full-time, I simply don't have the free time to, like, put in the hours necessary to really be a top player in Sunshine. I'm just putting in enough to, like, maybe push me over that 114 barrier, maybe a mid 114 if I'm lucky. But, like, I'm not going to ever get, like, anywhere near Guy's level or Equivocal Genius's level, because they just... They clearly just put in a lot more hours and have... I don't know their lifestyle, but I mean, I assume they have more time than me right now. But who knows?
I feel like we're in the... Can I put us both in the same tier at this point?
The tier of...
Like a Sunshine player?
Sure.
I feel like we're in like the second tier.
That's what I would say. What I always say is there's top level players, then there's high level players.
Yeah.
Which is the second tier.
And
that's like me and you.
And like Trey is focusing a lot on 80%. I'm focusing on a lot of just what I want to play. Like
Hondos.
I'm not focusing on in Sunshine. I'm just focusing on random stuff that I'm like. I've been playing Bianco Hundo for like a week and a half, but then I'll probably get like I've been bored of it, so I've just been burnt out and just not playing.
I've been doing regular ILs as well, just to get points in the IL spreadsheet.
Yeah, like we're just doing what we feel like we want to do, but not like the thing that like. Did we talk about it last week? It's just like the thing that everybody wants out of a Sunshine player.
We did cover this. It's like because there's also the expectation I should put out more videos on my main YouTube channel, which, by the way, I have been actually. This is a thing we'll get to later when we talk about Melee enough. I've started a new script for a video, but more on that later. Stay tuned. What were we talking about?
Sunshine. We were talking about Sunshine. I was rambling about Sunshine.
I feel like we're just like flowing between 5 topics right now.
Yeah, well, we play Sunshine in like... We're speedrunning it in a more casual way.
Yeah, exactly.
Where we're just like, we kind of want to do what we want to do. And like, you're picking at any percent runs and I'm picking at true all 100 coin shots.
When's your next run, by the way?
Probably tomorrow. Like maybe Sunday. I don't know. I'm playing it by ear, but I'm picking at them. But I'm just, my point is we're just doing what we want to do instead of just being like, oh, we want to be the best.
Yeah, I think the way I would put it is we're not putting all of our eggs in just the one basket of Sunshine like we used to do for a time. Because I'm playing through Tales of Symphonia casually, which might be the gameplay I actually used for this video portion of the podcast. I'm assuming I'm like a little more than halfway done with the Tales of Symphonia. I'm not really sure how long it is, but there you go.
We haven't used my True All 100 run yet. As a video.
Yeah, we got to stockpile gameplay footage, and also think about like when we get a guest on, the footage to use for them. It's a process.
It is a process for sure.
But yeah, I'm not putting all my focus onto just Sunshine. It's like one of the things I'm doing, but I'm also working full time, scripting a video, playing games casually if I can, trying to enjoy what's left of my free time if you take all it out. Going to the gym again recently, just all this stuff. So
I feel like we're riding the border of. Like, we're speedrunning, but we're also trying to, like, get back into casual games for the past year.
I was super into casual games for the year straight. I didn't play Sunshine at all, but now I'm sort of, like, mixing those two things together for a time.
And I feel like it works. Like, I treated Vanquish as a break. Where, like, I didn't stream it. There was no thought about streaming Vanquish in my mind. Like, I think I thought of it for 1 second. I'm like, no. And because I just wanted to turn it on and just treat it as just a pure break. And
dude, it's hard to stream casual games sometimes because you're just like, do I want to just play this game with no expectation of people watching me and having to be entertaining to them? Or wait, what did I say? The thing really don't do? I'm confused. It's like, do I play a game just normally, or do I play a game having to cater to someone or like some people? It's like, I don't know.
Do I have to put on this extra, not facade, but like, do I have to talk to myself a lot more?
Yeah, and I feel like for casual games, for me, that's not my cup of tea. I just enjoy the relaxation of just me in the game.
Yeah, and
but
that's
I only
how
like
I
to
was
stream when it's
treating-
speedrun stuff, I think.
Yeah, that's how I was treating Vanquish. So I finished that this past week. We used it for video like 2 weeks ago, and that was the only reason I started playing it.
You're like, fuck, we need gameplay footage.
We
All
need-
right, Vanquish.
Yeah,
Whoa.
we need gameplay footage. I'm gonna record 2 hours of it, and I total I think it took me like 5 hours or 6 hours. No, that sounds wrong. 7 hours, but I have the results screen somewhere. We could probably find it, but it's like I treated it as like, oh, I kind of want to just chill and play a video game for 2 hours and not care about losing in Rocket League or doing super nerdy things in Super Mario Sunshine or streaming at all or just like any random number of things I just didn't want to like participate in. It's just like, oh, this is the casual game that I'm playing. And I was just playing it for like 1 or 2 hours at a time. And it was very nice. It was a nice break. It's just a third person shooter. I years ago I probably wouldn't use this as a note, but like it has it has interesting movement where it's like you have this bar. I guess it's Mario Sunshine-esque, where it's just like you have this bar that is your power level, I guess, or this meter, and it empties as you use abilities, and you like overheat after a certain amount of time or whatever, and you can use this not water slide, but just this slide. You have this like
I
knee
was
slide.
watching the gameplay footage from the episode it was on, and you were doing this crazy flipping maneuver constantly. I'm like, is that helping him? Like, what is he doing with that?
I think that's just like coming out of the water slide or whatever. It's like
Were you doing that just to like look cool, or what was that doing?
I was just doing it to kill time while they were like talking.
It's just like you like shoot at something, go somewhere, like flip around all crazy like, and you shoot something else. I'm like, what the hell is happening?
You can like roll out of your slide, or you can just slide, or you can like roll into the whole basis of Vanquish is there's this like freeze mechanic. There's the what is it, Deadeye in Red Dead Redemption, whatever the slow down mechanic and shoot everything.
Bullet time,
basically, and.
There's like Breath of the Wild shooting stuff in midair.
There's that thing where you can just, but that contributes to your meter. It's not like Breath of the Wild where you can just take advantage of it at all times. Which is
that's one of a few things that game could fix in Breath of the Wild too. By the way,
well, it kind of does with its stamina meter, but its stamina meter doesn't like it's so long.
You could just eat a stamina food mid shot or whatever, right?
Yeah, I guess you could. See, I didn't even think of that, and yeah, it's dumb, but yeah, in Vanquish, you could just kind of freeze time and do that over and over again. And for later levels, when it starts like being like, oh, you picked hard mode, now it's actually hard mode, you have to take advantage of that a lot. And it doesn't feel like you're cheesing the game. It's actually pretty satisfying. And, but yeah, so it's just a dumb third person shooter. The guns are really cool. You can switch between a bunch of guns. And one of the things I really appreciated about it, so the movement's fast. It's like when we turned on Luigi's Mansion 3, you know how we do that little movement where it's just like, oh, what's your range of movement, right? Like everybody does that.
I think you do that more than me. I just sort of try to figure it out very briefly, then I just get a move on.
Well, yeah, I just remember turning on Luigi's Mansion 3 and spinning around in a circle and being like, wow, this sucks. But in Vanquish, you can turn really fast. But like But like what I was in the gameplay where you saw me going back and forth, like during just killing time, sliding back and forth. It's like side flip, hover, cancel, water slides. And I know that sounds super nerdy, but Trey knows what I'm talking about when I say that. And
oh, come on, the viewers know what a hover slide is.
well, they know what a hover slide, but they don't know what a side flip, hover, cancel, water slide necessarily
Okay, let me explain.
is.
So a side flip makes you side flip. We all know what a side flip is, right?
What is speed running?
So speed running is when you so a side flip, right, you do a side flip, it's a really high reverse jump in a way when you like flick the control stick forward and backward. Yeah. And then Sid was saying hover cancel. So you hover right after you side flip to cancel the height.
So you just turn around.
So yeah, the whole point is to turn around really fast and doing that into a hover slide. So sliding on the water created from the hover, and then boom.
Yeah, it's
Side flip, hover, cancel, water slide.
Did Reed popularize that one too? Am I wrong?
Maybe fetch or someone. I don't know. It's an IL thing. Kinda.
It's just so that you can 180-degree turn water slide, and
it's used in Vanquish.
In Vanquish, you just kind of like just can go whatever direction you want, which is very nice. But the guns come out immediately. You have 3 guns at your disposal at all times, and you can switch between them immediately. Like halfway through the game, I realized that like I could shoot most of my my clip or magazine, whatever stupid. What's the game? What's the Origin game? Apex Legends.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like City Girls. What?
Yeah, I know what you're trying to say.
What's the voice line that she says?
Wait. It's like City Girls read a magazine. I call it a
City Girls put clips in their hair. This is called a magazine.
Yeah.
But you can. But the stupid thing about that statement is that you can flip it. You can be like, well, City Girls read magazines at the barbershop. This is called a clip.
Oh yeah. There was
and I was just always sitting there going like, you could just have both versions of it, and she could always be right.
Yeah, what makes it more badass if it's magazine or clip? They're the same thing.
Yeah, it's the same. Like, I feel magazine is better, but yeah. I don't know. Who knows? But you can switch between. So I was like, you can empty your clip of the assault rifle and then immediately switch to. There was this overpowered gun, or maybe it's not overpowered, but it would drain your meter instead of draining ammo. So you would have infinite ammo for it. Essentially, if you switched at the right time, so you could switch to that one and it would just be like a pulse rifle essentially, or like a laser.
Oh, that reminds me of one thing I remember from Gears of War 2. Whenever you reload, there was a timing mechanic. You could like time a meter to, if you like time it dead on, you get more ammo for that clip, I think.
I have no idea.
But that's all I can remember from Gears of War 2. I played that forever ago.
I don't think there's any of that in this, but the cool thing is that like mid fire you could switch guns and shoot immediately with the next gun, which was really cool. I thought Vanquish was really cool. It actually spawned an interesting conversation between Iced Windowsill, Quan, and I for a moment, where we were talking about how cool that era was, like 2010 to 2014.
I feel like that era was kind of a dead zone for games in a way. Well, wasn't like the 2006 to like 2009 era pretty huge?
Yeah, like that.
Then it was kind of like we had like then in between we had like the Wii U, sort of like the newer Call of Duty games, not like the newest ones, obviously.
Yeah,
and then I mean I don't know that era. It definitely had some gems, but I feel like it wasn't as pronounced.
Well,
you know what I mean?
A lot of people, I know what you mean. But I feel like that's just from the Nintendo perspective.
That
like
could be it, yeah.
If you were a Nintendo kid, and I realized that this is why the era between like 2010 and 2014 is so cool, is that it's the only era of video games where Nintendo was irrelevant.
Right.
Because the Wii U, or like Wii was like waning and people weren't caring as much, and like Skyward Sword came out and nobody cared. Like
that's probably what I'm thinking of, to be honest, because in that time, Nintendo is pretty much all I cared about, so that's probably it.
Yeah, and like I was going into the other games, and I saw Vanquish at the time, and I was just like, oh, that looks cool. I never bought it, but like Skyrim came out, and Quan brought up Alan Wake, and just like a lot of those cool niche Xbox or PlayStation or even PC games. But it's the only era of video games where Nintendo was totally irrelevant, because it was waning Wii, where I love to bring up this stat. Skyward Sword only sold 4 million copies. And
yeah, didn't it sell less than like Mario Sunshine or something?
It sold less. Yes, it sold less than Mario Sunshine. And if
a mainline Zelda game sells less than a game on the quote unquote failed GameCube, that's kind of a bad sign.
Yeah, and considering that the GameCube only sold, 22 million consoles versus Wii's 100 million consoles, or like however much more it is now. But I was actually looking at it, the kind of a side story thing. We were talking about, like we were mentioning Alan Wake, and I mentioned the Skyward Sword thing. If you look at on Google, it won't show it to me right this second. Like I can't find the exact quote I found, but when you look at Alan Wake or Skyward Sword, they sold pretty much the exact same amount. Where it's like Alan Wake sold 3 million copies and Skyward Sword sold 4 million copies, but the way it's written on Google or from whatever website they drew the quote from. It's like Skyward Sword's just like, oh, 4 million copies, it sold a shit ton. And then Alan Wake's is going like, yeah, it didn't really get enough to merit a sequel, but like it sold ish, you know?
I would have thought it would have been the opposite.
Well, yeah, right? Where it's just like, it should have been that way.
Because Nintendo has such high standards for their main series games, it has to be several million or it's a failure.
And who the fuck is Alan Wake?
Yeah.
Right?
Honestly, I don't know what the fuck Alan Wake is, to be honest.
Yeah, it's just an Xbox game. It's like a horror third-person shooter.
I guess Quan says it's good, so I believe him.
Yeah, I remember it being big and people really liking it, like if you were a gamer, I guess. And you should be if you're here.
I wasn't enough of a gamer then, I guess.
You weren't enough of a non-Nintendo gamer, maybe.
Yeah, well, I mean, okay, I say that I had an Xbox 360, but I guess my brother mostly played it. But I mean, I didn't only play Nintendo, but I guess that was for sure my main focus.
But yeah, we were talking about how that era was cool. And, but yeah, so I finished Vanquish. I finished on hard mode.
What would you rate it out of 10?
Man, that's such a hard question. Do you know what's really dumb about Alan Wake? The credits sequence. They steal a melee trope. They steal the shooting the credits.
Oh no, only Melee can do that.
And it feels so dumb to do it on Vanquish. Because I let the credits always play out just to see if like they have anything at the end. I remember Dead Space 2 has like a 15-minute credit sequence where at the end there's like a voice line being like, oh, Dead Space 3 is happening. And then you're just like, yay! And that's it. But
wow, they were that they were within the game. They already knew they were going to make a sequel.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's like it teased. Maybe they didn't know they were going to make it, but they teased what the sequel would be.
That's like the equivalent of the credits of Breath of the Wild saying Breath of the Wild 2 is coming out.
but everybody knows Breath of the Wild. Everybody knows Breath of the Wild 2 is coming out.
Yeah, I guess they don't even need that.
So, but yeah, out of 10, I'd probably give it an 8. Like for what I wanted out of it, it was definitely
solid.
Like 8 or 9 even. I had a lot of fun. And if you're looking for like, wow, this is a really, it's very walk into a new area. There's a lot of enemies to kill. Walk into a new area. There's a lot of enemies to kill, like that kind of thing. But the weapons are cool enough, and the enemies. I really appreciate a game that has a variety of different, like, just, I guess, henchmen enemies. You know, instead of just
not
one
the same
type.
Old things being thrown at you, just like in different palette swaps.
Yeah, and there's a lot of cool different enemies in that game where you're just like, oh shit, this guy. Oh shit, that guy. Oh, these guys are okay. Oh shit, that guy. Like there's a lot of that kind of thing. But
yeah.
Like we've talked about Luigi's Mansion 3 a lot. I love talking about Luigi's Mansion. I'm so glad we bought Luigi's Mansion 3, like not for experiencing it, but like for being able to talk about it periodically.
For being able to rag on it.
Yeah. But like one of the cool things about Luigi's Mansion 3, and we talk about it a lot, is the enemies. Like
they had some really cool stuff. Like they reused the same generic ghost, but in like really creative ways and like different. They were always doing different stuff.
Like the blue henchman enemies always just took on a role, and when they put on shark fins and you emptied like the sewer, and then they started flopping around as if they couldn't breathe anymore because they were sharks. I thought that was the best thing ever, because it's just like, oh, they're just so into their roles. And
well, you're not really sharks, right? You're ghosts.
Yeah, but it's just like, but they're so in it. They're so in their mode.
And speaking of Skyward Sword, I don't think I'm going to be getting the HD remake of it.
Oh, me neither. No.
See, I haven't even played. I've played pretty much every 3D Zelda except for Spirit Tracks and Skyward Sword. And I'm considering, for a brief moment, I was like, I haven't played Skyward Sword yet. Is Skyward Sword HD my prime opportunity to actually play it? But like, so I got Mario Golf, and I enjoyed Mario Golf, but there's just like nothing to do in it. There's no, and I didn't cover this enough last time I talked about it. There's no content. Like, Toadstool Tour had like a dozen different modes. It had ring attack, character match, skins mode, club slots, like all this stuff. Once you do the story mode that has like a really phoned in ending, you can do single player, just like 18 holes for a score that means nothing. And then there's multiplayer, which is like kind of cool for a bit. Then I kind of got bored of it. Like, I just wish there was more stuff to do. And like, sure, you could say, oh no, don't worry, there's DLC coming. But
I hate
that DLC thing, you know?
That attitude sucks so hard.
Yeah, like just be patient. They're going to add New Donk City. It's going to be so cool. But it's like, what's the point of just dragging it out like that?
That kind of reminds me of like, people that are like, well, you have to play 13 hours for it to get good, or like you have to watch 25 episodes before it gets rolling.
Don't worry, you just gotta wait 6 months for it to get good.
Yeah, you have to wait 6 months until they add more stuff, then you're gonna have more fun. It's like,
I hate modern gaming practices so much.
Yeah, it sucks.
It's so dumb. Remember when games had to just have the full package there, and if it wasn't there, it sucked?
Yeah.
And that was it?
Yeah, and it was great.
And the games were ironically probably better back then too.
They just didn't have this thing to lean on. They just didn't have this, just like, oh, we can just add more stuff. Well,
anyway, I'm tired of Nintendo being stupid. So me not getting Skyward Sword is my, you know what? You don't get my $60 this time. Fuck you.
You know what? Skyward Sword's going to be all there though.
Yeah.
That will be its thing. I just hope they make it look. I'll probably end up watching people stream it because people are going to be.
People already started streaming it, I believe.
Yeah, I think they did it. I don't know if it's out today or like yesterday or something, but people have been streaming it for a few days.
People were playing it like yesterday. How do people have it so early?
Yeah, I know Papacino got it. He tweeted out his he got the whole set. He got the Switch, the Joy-Cons too. And
Papacino is the biggest Nintendo fan. Nope.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Quan was thinking about getting it. Wait, no, I
also thought Quan loves Skyward Sword. Of course he would.
Yeah.
I also thought it was funny. The one website where I still get ads is Twitch, because there is a rat race between uBlock like manipulation and Twitch to like overpower their ads. And for like a few months, I was in the rat race of like, okay, install this new update, change this variable, and then ads will no longer be on Twitch until next week when Twitch patches that. And I got so tired of the rat race, I put up with ads on Twitch now because I guess they won. I'm too bored or lazy. But so Twitch is the one website where I get ads.
Yeah.
And I have been seeing a Skyward Sword ad, and the opening line is, "A challenge awaits you." And I'm sitting there like, yeah, I'm sure it's real challenging. Fucking you just Zelda game on the Wii U.
you just hear everybody talk shit over the past decade being like Skyward Sword is the easiest
it holds your hand like the first 2 hours. Like, yeah, I'm sure it's real challenging.
Yeah. We complained about how EGAD holds your hand in Luigi's Mansion 3. Fee or Fi or however you say their name, I played through it. People can read it whatever her name is pronounced. She is insane with how much she talks to you about things. I don't know about the remake. Apparently you can turn her off, which is really good.
Oh, hell yeah.
But man, they really didn't think about that when they put that game out initially.
I actually really liked Midna and Twilight Princess because she had like an attitude to her.
Yeah.
But the classic Navi thing, no one really liked that a whole lot.
Well, I like Navi. I like Navi as a kind of as a symbol of a character.
I guess, in a way.
See, the thing about Fee is that she's a character, but she's a robotic character. She's literally a robot.
She's literally the tutorial bot.
Yeah, so it's just not very satisfying. At the end, it's kind of sad. I'm not going to say spoiler alert. It ends, and it's like she doesn't show up again.
The game ends at some point.
The game ends, and she never shows up in another game, so figure it out. But, yeah. I enjoyed Skyward Sword enough. I don't ever have to play it again or rebuy it. But
that gives me confidence to not get it.
Yeah, it's I've always had arguments with Quan that what's funny is that we eventually figured out what our argument was about. I always thought that he loved it and I hated it, but his argument was that it was okay.
Oh, so about what you said?
What do you mean?
Like, so you have the same sentiment as him, pretty much?
Well,
that it was okay?
I think it's worse than okay. I think it's like meh.
subpar.
But he's just like, it's okay. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm fine with that. It's okay. I'm not as passionate as I used to be in how bad Skyward Sword is.
A challenge awaits you.
You should play Vanquish. It's like $6. It's fun.
I'll put it at the bottom of my bucket list that has a million things on it.
God damn it. I finish up my Vanquish thing. The second last boss is so hard. Like on hard mode, I was just sitting there going like, oh my God, how do they expect
did you say the second boss?
The second last.
Oh, second last, okay.
I feel like I didn't have really much of an issue until that one boss that you saw me play, or like you put in the recording for last pod.
Not gonna lie, I didn't actually watch you fight that boss, but I saw you beat it. I just put that in there.
Yeah, I think I died like 9 times there, but I eventually figured it out. And you beat bosses like that a lot of time, but once you figure out how to take advantage of the slowdown mechanic, then everything else becomes a lot easier to figure out. But the second last boss is you poke your head out of cover. It's like Veteran on World at War. And a lot of people are going to know what I mean by that.
Or like any Call of Duty game for that matter.
But I feel like specifically World at War hits people in like some PTSD.
Maybe that one's particularly bad.
Yeah, in some PTSD thing where it's just like you poke your head out of cover and you are dead. And like you have to slow down time to poke your head out of cover for a moment. And but yeah, second last boss was pretty insanely hard to figure out. But it's not that long of a boss, which is great. And I say boss, I don't even know. It's a boss. But the last boss is very satisfying. Like the last boss isn't easy, but it's not like crushingly hard, and it's not enemy hordes. And the thing about the second last boss is that there are enemy hordes coming at you and the boss. So what's a good Dark Souls equivalent?
It's like enemy hordes and a boss. That would be, what was the skull enemy's boss's name?
The Great Soul. I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
Starts with an N, I think.
Fuck! It's been so long since I played that.
Yeah, whatever that guy. But if he was hard. So the skull boss in Dark Souls with all the skull horde that comes at you. If he was really hard, and the enemies were really hard, then. Because I don't ever remember him being that difficult. I think the boss itself wasn't that hard, and then the horde was kind of like the difficult part of that fight. But if both were difficult, that's the second last boss in Vanquish. And but then the last boss is just 2 bosses, which is a lot easier than 2 significantly hard like hordes being like multiple enemies and a boss. So it's just like you have to keep track of everything and not poke your head out of cover. But it was, overall. And then they gave me God Hard mode. I don't know if I'm going to play God Hard mode. Just like, here's God Hard mode. And I was just like, wow, this is so early 2010s. It's awesome. But I don't know if I'm going to play it. And the one thing I wanted to say about Skyward Sword was that I appreciate what they're doing with advertising for it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care about Skyward Sword. It came out a decade ago. I don't want to play it. But the fact that they're putting out Link and Groose fan cams on their Twitter is very interesting to me.
Oh, it was Nito. Sorry, the boss was Nito.
Nito, yeah. I was right. Start with an N.
Yep.
Nito with his skeleton buddies, with his Roly. Does he have Roly skeletons in the fight?
I remember like a bunch of dudes popped up, and you're like supposed to use divine weapons or something so they actually die for good.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure I managed to do it without them. It wasn't too bad.
I'm pretty sure I did too, where it's just like you just kill Nito and it's just like, oh, okay. Cool. But the Skyward Sword advertising with the fan cams is interesting. Like specifically on Twitter. Like they just have recordings of Groose, which is probably the best character in that game. Or I guess when you say best character in a Zelda game, it's just like the only one that has kind of an arc.
The only one that has a personality.
Yeah, it's just like, sure. And then they had a Link one, and people are like, oh, I love these fan cams. And I'm like, yeah, I don't care about these games, but like that's interesting that they're making fan cams and stuff. Just like, what, BTS? What's the Korean boy band or whatever?
I believe it is BTS.
Yeah, the BTS meal.
I don't know if BTS stands for something, except for Beyond the Summit.
Yep. That's
Speaking of which, okay, circling back, I never actually got to my other points in that, by the way.
Oh, okay, go for it.
I said Plup is sick, and then somebody got interrupted.
Sure.
Going back to Summit, so I wanted to point out that Kadoran really caught my attention for how good he was. And I noticed this yesterday. I don't know if it was intentional or not. It had to be intentional somewhat. But so Kadoran plays Green Marth, which has like a black cape and a green shirt type deal going on. Kadoran, his outfit on day 2, I believe, because today's day 3, right? So day 2 yesterday, first day of singles, his outfit, he was wearing a black jacket and a green shirt. And I was like, is he semi-cosplaying Marth today? Is that like intended?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It sure looked like it. Like it had to be somewhat intentional. And then, yeah, also, I just wanted to say his set against Hungrybox, you also saw that?
Mm-hmm.
It came down to the wire, like the last 2 games. And like the final game, which HBox ended up winning, he quickly took the first 2 stocks. So it was like, oh, crap, it's over.
Yeah, 9%.
Yeah, and then somehow, like, Kadoran, like, edged his way back, just, like, staying, like, just out of range and neutral and, like, poking him over and over again. He just was, like, spacing him so well. It came down to the wire. Like, the final stock was, like, took, like, a minute because they just kept, like, getting, like, little micro hits in, like, every few seconds. It was so crazy.
Yeah.
But that was a crazy match.
When he went on commentary after that, he was commenting on it. The game 3 that put HBox up 2-1, where he popped off on him like HBox would.
Mid-set pop-off.
Kadoran did admit that the first 2 stocks melted away from the 4th game because he was kind of on tilt.
I mean, yeah, I could see that a little bit.
Yeah, I can totally imagine that, where it's just like, you just get popped off on, and you're just... I can't imagine popping off... like after I don't know, maybe I'm...
You see, that's the psychological damage aspect that's missing from online tournaments.
Yeah, that's how HBox has his edge.
The person-to-person interactions are so much more effective in person than you'd probably realize.
God.
But like even then, I don't know. I never heard of Kadoran before this tournament, but he really... I'm definitely going to watch him more in the future because he seems super solid.
I really like... I really like people in chat when Moki's like down. Was he 0-2? I don't know what his sets are today. I'm assuming he lost. He lost to Mango.
He actually had a very close set with Mango. He could have won, but then Mango started steamrolling him at the end.
Mangoed. But I like everybody in chat being like, he's down. He's like 0-2 in sets, and he's just like, yeah, but Moki's still going to win the tournament. I'm just like, yeah, okay, I don't know.
I mean, hey, if you're a fan of him, just why not?
Hey, he's Canadian. For all intents and purposes, I should be.
I didn't even know that. Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And then, okay, one more thing I wanted to point out was the LSD versus Aklo set. 2 more players I never heard of prior to this tournament.
You never heard of Aklo?
I have heard of Aklo through like a Toph video, and that's it.
Okay.
Other than that, I haven't really heard of him a whole lot. Best Link player in the world, I guess. And I now know because in game 5 of that set, he pulled out the Link on FD versus LSD's Marth.
Oh yeah.
And I put 5,000 channel points down on LSD, and I was initially a little concerned because Aklo had like a much stronger start at the beginning of game 1 and even 2 a little bit. But then LSD like really, I think Aklo started doubting his tech skill a little bit at some point. Then LSD started like bringing it back a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then game 5 on the FD, like Aklo, he was, I guess, always planning on bringing out Link versus Marth on that stage. And I don't know, the Link counterpick was so hyped to me. Like, even if he won and I lost channel points, I would have been like, damn, this guy's insane. But it came down to final stock, and it was pretty nuts just seeing a high-level Link go at it. What's more to say than that?
Well, we don't have anything more to say because when we post this, we will not have seen the versions of us that you are listening to right now have not seen day 3,
which is tomorrow to us now.
Like will literally know, like we that live in the universe. When you listen to this, we will know the results.
Yeah, don't worry. Don't bother commenting below. Like, well, so and so won in game 3. Like, we don't know yet, but we
comment
will know.
below.
Yeah, make sure to tell us everything that happened on the finals day, which we
Yes,
will
tell us.
watch. Okay, I had one more thing actually. So after that set, Aklo, I guess, like did some taunting in that set, and then there was kind of like I thought it was a cringe moment. Tell me if this was cringe.
Yeah.
So
first time I'm hearing this.
LSD went to the mic to say his spiel, like his little soapbox after the match. All he said was, "Don't taunt me ever again," then walks away, all badass like.
Yeah.
And I thought it was kind of a cringe "Don't taunt me again" because I feel like that only works if you won like hand over fist.
Okay.
Right? If it's like a super close set, like down to the wire, anyone could have won. I don't think that statement really holds that much weight. Like, you know what I mean?
What's funny about it is that Aklo, like they were talking about Aklo and SFAT yesterday, and it's just like, oh, they seem like the nicest people of all time. So you saying that Aklo taunted him, it probably meant absolutely nothing.
Yeah, also Aklo is just like having a good time. He's like smiling and stuff, and I think LSD was like smiling too. And then he's just like, "Don't taunt me again."
I don't know. Maybe it was a joke. Maybe it's a joke.
It felt like very serious when he said it.
Well,
but it's like, does that warrant being said when it's like he could have easily won that set too?
It might have been a jokey joke. That's where I'm at. I don't know if I didn't see it.
I don't know, it was just the way he said it. It seemed super serious to me.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, while we're still on Smash stuff, earlier this week, the Steam Deck was announced, but also Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl.
Oh yeah, I didn't even have that on my list.
I have that on my list.
Yeah, someone in my chat always wanted me to talk about that, and like I don't know anything.
I know pretty much. We were talking about.
I've seen the trailer, and that's.
Oh, you've seen the trailer now?
Yeah. Well, okay. I watched it through a Hugs video talking about it.
Great.
And he was like theory crafting which characters would also be on it and stuff, as everyone probably does. Because we all know there's going to be DLC. Like, there's plenty of Nickelodeon IPs to go around. So,
I just wonder, because it's from the developers of Slap City, right?
Which I hear is amazing.
Yeah, apparently, like I've seen a lot of, actually at some summits they played Slap City. Speaking of Summit, so, and I know Plup was really good at it, but that gives me a little bit of hope, because apparently that's just really good. So,
but you don't plan on getting this game though, right?
I don't think so. Probably not.
You're just hoping that it has a good scene around it because Nickelodeon, yay.
I'm not. You know what's the most interesting character that they put? Like, I don't care about SpongeBob. I don't care about the wild thornberries.
Wait, let me guess. Wait, most interesting to you?
Yeah, most interesting to me.
Helga?
You know what? Helga's kind of interesting.
That's pretty interesting.
I did like
Hey
Arnold.
Right? Because she's like a bully inherently. Like, she's always like fighting in the show. So like, hey,
I think the character the character from my most enjoyed Nickelodeon program is Reptar. From
okay,
Rugrats.
I was thinking that as well. Maybe
I loved Rugrats when I was a kid. And
you loved Rugrats?
I did.
I thought Rugrats was just okay. Like, it was kind of there to me.
Dude,
I wasn't like super crazy. Like, if it was on, I would watch it. But if there was like something better on Cartoon Network, I'd go to that.
You watched it in reruns though, right?
I mean, it's still the same show.
Yeah, I know, but like I was a kid. Like, I was a kid. So I don't know. I don't know what to think.
I mean, Rugrats was on pretty frequently. Like, sure, it was older episodes, but like it came on every now and then.
All I'm saying is that you're wrong.
Okay.
And I'm right. And
fair enough.
I don't know. I can't remember any like specific episodes. But
I enjoyed Rugrats in Paris, the movie.
What was the?
Did you see Rugrats in Paris?
Is that the one? Is that the one where they just Dill exists? Like Dill
That's
shows up.
That's the one where like, who's the redhead kid? Tommy?
No, that's Chucky.
Or Chucky? Fuck,
yeah.
I can't remember.
Charles, please.
Yeah, Chucky's dad and the Asian woman are like together or something.
Oh, and then I can't remember her name. What's the other? What's the girl's
Kim?
name?
Is it Kim?
Kim, maybe.
Kim is the baby of the Asian woman.
But
whatever her name is.
Is Dill the first movie? Oh, isn't that just Rugrats the first movie?
Dill is just like the main baby.
No, that's Tommy.
Wait, fuck. Who is
You
Dill?
know nothing about Rugrats.
I don't know anything about Rugrats.
Angelica's her cousin.
Okay, I know Angelica. Yeah.
Oh my God. There's Phil and Lil. God damn.
Yep.
I can't believe it.
I know Phil and Lil.
Yeah, and Reptar's in the game.
They're
I think
the
that's
twins.
I don't know. Everything that's come out about it since the screenshots that I saw initially, I'm just like, wow, this looks like garbage. And then it's just like, oh, it's from the developers of Slap City. Plus. Oh, Reptar's in it. Plus.
The graphics that I saw were very reminiscent of the Battle for Bikini Bottom remake to me.
Is that good?
Which is kind of like, I don't know.
Is that good?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Is that good?
It's, I mean, it's like not, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. It's just the trailer. So.
I know that there's a few people. I think KO, our guest from last week, is going to get it. Like I know there's a few people that are just like, oh, it's rollback netcode. We'll do that. Like we'll get on that. Screw it.
I feel like rollback netcode is just going to be the gold standard of like any online play, except for Nintendo because they're like 10 years behind as always.
Well, you do know that like Nintendo has commented on rollback. Right.
Oh, they have?
Yeah, people were just like, hey, you should add rollback to Ultimate. It'd be sick. And they actually commented, or Sakurai commented being like, it would be too much work at this point to do it, to put it into Ultimate. So,
at this point, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, something along those lines. So it was just like, yeah, no. Kind of a deal. So they did comment on it being a thing. But yeah, like all in all, Nickelodeon and All-Star Brawl. I'll put the respect it deserves, I guess, and say its full name. But like everything that's come out since, I'm kind of looking at it being like, maybe I'm assuming if this game is $40, I will buy it. Maybe.
Why specifically $40?
I just hope that. I don't know why specifically $40. I just like when games aren't like super up their own ass and be like, you know what, this is full price and you should get it. You know,
there were talks of the default's full price being $70 at some point.
Yeah,
it's already beyond that for you because of Canada. But
yeah, that's why I keep complaining about Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze like remake or not remake,
right?
Re-release
Because
on Switch.
Your point was it was like really cheap on the Wii U because that console was dog shit, and then like on the Switch it's full price.
It's on the Switch, it's full price, and we're in Canada, so I think I had to spend $90 on Luigi's Mansion 3.
No, but you see, you're paying a premium on Funky mode.
No, I'm not.
So,
isn't Funky like the easy
that.
version? I don't know.
Huh?
Isn't Funky just like easy mode? I can't remember.
I have no idea. I guess I haven't played it.
So you're not going to get this?
I just know
mode?
the new Funky mode meme.
Are you going to get the Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl? Are you thinking about it?
I just
at this point,
I'm not a fighting game person. I like watching fighting games, but like I'm not a personal big player of them, except for like Melee with you every now and then.
It comes out tomorrow. Do you get it?
I don't think so. Like I'll watch gameplay of it and make my own assessments and see what the general reception is.
Yeah,
but I'm of course I'm hype for like more of my other favorite Nickelodeon characters to show up in it at some point. I'm very look at what everybody else thinks about it first. Exactly. If it seems to be like this amazing like game changing game, then sure. But if it comes out just kind of meh, then I'm like, all right, that's cool.
Like I don't remember the last game that I got like day one.
Yeah, especially nowadays. Like years ago, getting games day one, a lot more justified because like the product is what it is. Mm-hmm. Nowadays, so many games are just so mediocre at launch and then eventually get good that it's like, what's the point?
Or it's even a dice roll at launch and then it's just bad. Like
yeah,
like you remember the No Man's Sky drama, right?
But then it eventually got good, supposedly.
But like it took probably 2 years before it actually got good with a lot of work. But and like respect to the developer for it. I feel like everybody loves the developer for it now. He just
the developer got like so thrown under the bus for everything initially, but he's actually a really cool person, I guess.
Yeah, and
so
I
props
follow
to
on
him.
Twitter now. You know,
I don't, but that is cool of you to do that.
I can't remember his name, but I do follow him on Twitter.
The guy with the beard and the soy face in that one famous photo.
He got an award at the Game Awards this past year.
Yeah. That's a crazy redemption arc right there.
Yeah. I like, and he was sitting there like drinking beer and he was just like, oh shit. I won. All right.
Dude,
cool.
That's awesome.
he was just there drinking on webcam and then he's just like, wait, I won? What? All right, cool.
That's really reassuring to know it's not just scripted and it's like the awards are like a real thing.
I do know that the like streamer of the year, all of their acceptance speeches were pre-recorded.
I mean, that makes sense because for a streamer, they're probably not. Well, no, I mean, even game developers wouldn't be.
Yeah, I don't know why. All I know is that because I was watching, because Among Us was big and everything, I was watching Valkyrae and Ludwig and all those people.
Wait, Among Us was big?
Yeah, you know this game,
what
Among
is this
Us?
Among Us you speak of?
Among Us, you know?
I just want to remind everyone for the millionth time, even though it's probably the first time, we were playing Among Us before it was cool.
Yes,
we played that. How early was it? Like,
well, it got big in like June or July.
Yeah,
we were playing it in March.
What, like, was it 2019 or like super early 2020?
No, we were. It was just 2020. It was like as pandemic started.
Right, because we were getting like super active in certain Discords, especially like the good people when the pandemic hit.
Yeah, we were doing
movie
nights.
And Among Us was like one of our go-to games.
We were doing the Harry Potter movie nights, and then everything died.
Yep.
But
we did see all Harry Potter. So
yeah, after we finished Harry Potter, nobody was just like, nobody could agree on a movie. That was the issue.
And then we just stopped watching movies.
Yeah.
Sag.
So what was I saying? I had something on Among Us. Oh, I was watching a bunch of Among Us, and so Valkyrae, who won Streamer of the Year last year, or this past year, whatever, she was saying she was on stream watching the Game Awards as it happened, and then her pre-recorded video came up accepting the award. So I guess they had all the streamers accept it early so that they could live react or something.
Huh.
So her like recorded video of her accepting it, she didn't actually expect to win. So like in her mind as she was doing that, it's just like, yeah, this is bullshit, I won't win. And then she won. So she's like actually freaking out in the corner of her in the corner of her screen, reacting to her video where she didn't believe that she would, which is kind of like the Bo Burnham Inside, like breaking reality kind of thing. But nobody else did. I know that a lot of the game developers were there actually, but for some reason they had that. What was I saying before that?
That's the reason it was pre-recorded, so that the streamers could actually like also stream the event.
I'm making that up, but that sounds real.
That sounds reasonable to me.
Yeah. Like, why wouldn't you?
Because it brings more exposure to the event.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I'll stream it live, and I don't have to be in the Zoom call, and my 60K viewers that I get on the reg will also watch it with, and then Jeff Keighley will get a paycheck, and everybody will be happy.
Yay.
What were we talking about?
Were we done with whatever thought that was? Or
Nickelodeon Smash.
Nickelodeon fighting game, yeah.
Oh,
yeah, I'm probably not going to get it, like, unless it's like a paradigm shift in games or something.
Yeah, day one buying is very much of a dice roll nowadays. So,
and I'm not a big fighting game player, but I do enjoy, like, I like watching Tekken and Smash, of course, but I don't really play them a whole lot.
I could just kind of want to get into casual games again. I was talking to you about playing Dark Souls 2 again, like getting back into it.
Actually finishing it?
Yeah, actually finishing Dark Souls 2.
And I need to play Dark Souls 3 at some point. I need to get a fucking 114 and Sunshine Rock. Like once I get the 114, I can justify taking a little more time off of practicing Sunshine, a little more time into starting Dark Souls 3 before Elden Ring comes out, maybe something else. Still playing Tales of Symphonia, of course, but in just like little chunks at a time. I'm doing what you're doing with Vanquish, where it's like, I'll play Tales of Symphonia like 1 to 2 hours every couple of days, like little bits and pieces. except that's a much longer game. It's like a full-fledged RPG with all this stuff in it. So it'll take a while, but
it's refreshing to play a game that you don't have to be good at.
yeah. In Tales, my experience so far, like I'll just touch on this a bit. I had to grind some enemies for like a little bit, a couple of times, because some of the bosses sort of caught me off. They were surprisingly hard. Like I was sort of going through the game at like a medium-paced pace, where I'd fight like most of the enemies, just kind of go through it, do what was required of me. Then some of the bosses just like obliterated me. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Am I like not fighting properly? I mean, I'm sure I could, and I've been optimizing my like fighting strategy in the game. It's like a real time, sort of like Xenoblade kind of game, where it's like it's not turn based, but like you're actually just like fighting and like selecting moves and stuff, and mostly just like swinging a sword if you're like Anyway, but yeah, like the bosses were just like. They were harder than I expected. So like, okay, I'm gonna grind a little bit in this area, and as I grind, maybe like search for some items around the overworld as I do it. Then I'll come back to it and be good. Enemy wise, the enemies like are typically not much of a challenge, but like the bosses can really kick your ass. So
yeah,
that's what I can pick up on so far.
Yeah. I know nothing about the game, so
yeah,
interesting.
I like the art style. It's a cute art style. It's got some funny characters. Sometimes a little too one note. Like the main dude is like always constantly teased for being stupid. It's like, what'd you say was how'd you pronounce? Like, oh come on, we learned this in class. You're so dumb. Like all the fucking time. And it's like, all right, we get it. He's dumb.
Do you feel like you're being chastised when he's being chastised?
A little bit. It's like, I'm not saying it's this guy.
What the hell? I'm just playing this character.
No, like he's like dumb, but like super confident and like, yeah, let's get like a main character should be. Yeah, I like the characters. It's a little fun story. I don't know. It's pretty cool.
Cool.
And then let's see. I had. So the video, which I mentioned earlier. So I'm, of course, mostly focusing on streaming right now for Sunshine to hopefully get a 114. But, so my work schedule actually at my job recently switched from COVID hours to non-COVID hours, which unfortunately means that, so previously, because I work a 4-day-a-week week, it's like 4 days on, 3 days off, which is super nice because I love 3-day weekends. But it's supposed to be 10-hour shifts for those 4 days, which it is now when they switched back. But before with COVID hours, because it's shift-based and like there's like transitions from shift to shift, it's like a 24/7 operation. We only had to work like 8.5 hours and it was still considered 10 hours. But now it's switched back to being the full 10. But meanwhile, the workload hasn't changed. If not, it's depleted slightly. So we have like so much downtime. Most of the time we're just like sitting around at our job right now, it seems like. But because of that, I've found the time to actually start working on a script for a new video idea that I had during my downtime at work, which funnily enough, I actually typed up most of the 80% history video at my 2017 summer internship, because some days they had like nothing for me to do. Like I just showed up and they're like, yeah, we don't have much for you to do. Sorry. You can just like chill for a bit. And I think I typed up at least a third of the 80% history script at that internship, funnily enough. So I'm no stranger to typing up stuff at work.
Yeah.
But I think it's pretty productive.
I never had that outlet like for writing a random script or whatever. So when I show up to somewhere and it's just like, oh yeah, we don't have much for you to do or whatever, I'm always just like, fuck. Yeah. It's like, why am I here? Like,
see,
I don't
normally,
have.
But
yeah,
before I was like, okay, I guess I'll browse Reddit or browse Twitter and like do nothing else.
That's whenever I don't have anything to do, and like what I'm supposed to be at work on Thursdays and Fridays, when I'm DMing you like random Twitter posts, that's what's just like, oh, I'm just waiting for like ovens or like that. That's how you know that I'm not doing anything. It's just like I'm sending you random tweets, being like, this is dumb.
And basically, what sparked me to start this was when we did get the switch back to non-COVID hours. I knew I would have this downtime, and I was like, okay, I need to like brainstorm what can I do to be productive in this downtime, because it's just wasting my day, because, you know, the 40-hour work week, we got to stick to it as a good American should. It has to be that system.
Yeah.
Even though it's a flawed system, I digress. So I had the idea, like, what like video script could I start making, because I can do that while I'm at work. And I thought back to, so I could work on like that massive project that I promised at the end of my pausing video that
Yes.
you and I are going to collaborate on.
Yes. You know what? We'll figure it out.
Yeah. So I have like some of that script done. Also, the stupid thing, and okay, maybe it's smart because like cybersecurity purposes, for some reason my work blocks things like Google Docs and Google Sheets. Like you can't access those. I think they don't like cloud-based systems and stuff because maybe it's a security issue.
Yeah.
So I have to kick it old school. I have to type it up on a Word document, email it back and forth to myself, and it's kind of a hassle, but you know, at least I can manage somehow.
Interesting.
But yeah, I'm typing it up on Word, the old school thing.
Nice.
And instead of working on like the massive project, I was like, okay, how can I milk Sunshine content even further?
Good. Yeah.
And then it hit me. Because I was like, okay, what other topic of that huge video could warrant its own video like the pausing thing did? And the first thing that came to me, spin jumps.
Yeah.
Because I knew at some point we were going to cover spin jumps and like mention all the different utility of it, like how many different ways it could be used. And I figured, okay, what if I made a video all on its own, like the ultimate spin jump guide covering every...
It makes a lot of sense to make its own video.
Yeah, because this has been a thing that should have been a video for a long time now, but no one's actually done it yet.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many aspects to spin jumping that a casual just watching a stream wouldn't pick up on and wouldn't even know, or also someone learning the game should know when going into it, because it's very important to mastering the game. And there's like, I wanted to like sort of kick it off with like some niche stuff Noki Doki taught me I didn't even know until like last week. So it's stuff that like I'm sure 99.9999% of people wouldn't even know.
Yeah, I when you told me, I didn't even know. Like, yeah, specifically
that's a good teaser to anyone listening. Like, spin jumps, that sounds boring. But there is some interesting stuff in there, let me tell you. And then beyond that, it's just a general guide explaining, like, okay, this is a buffered spin jump, it's XYZ, this momentum spin, there's frame perfect spins, and I'm just going to cover all that stuff. But I've been typing that up, and I have like probably like a page and a half so far, and I think it's actually could be promising. So we'll see where that goes.
Yeah, it makes sense. Like for our project, the spin jumping would be a fair bit of it. So like making its own video would be.
Yeah, that was my initial thought with the pausing is weird thing. Is like that could be in that video. Yeah. At the same time, it's like it's not so much like a useful niche thing so much as a funny quirk of the game. So it could be cool to make its own video of. And sure enough, and funnily enough, recently the pausing video has been like popping off on the algorithm. It's picked up like 200,000 more views in the past month out of nowhere. I was like, okay, cool. I'll take it. Yeah, I don't know how that happened. I think it's just like a combination of, I always say like I love the title and thumbnail of that video because it's so, the thumbnail is so minimalistic and sick. And the title, I don't know, the title draws you in. It's like, why would pausing be weird? I'm going to click this. So
you know what has a better thumbnail than your pause video?
The last podcast episode.
Last podcast episode was pretty fucking sick.
I was proud of that one. The OBS logo with Bo Burnham inside.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
That's one of my master works for sure.
All right, so video being worked on. Maybe you know what? Maybe I'll use my downtime. I probably won't. I like scrolling Twitter and listening to
Twitter
music.
Twitter is too much fun.
But I can write my Stargate video. You know?
Oh shit.
Where I talk about Stargate and yeah. You know what?
Have you looked into it like on YouTube? Is there like a niche for Stargate videos on YouTube at all?
There are basically none.
You could fill that niche.
I could fill that niche.
If you see, one of the best ways to get a YouTube channel going is to like spot a niche. Like I spotted the world record history videos when they started popping off. It's like, okay, I'll rip that off. Boom, easy. No.
Yeah,
but yeah.
Yeah, see, the weird thing about Stargate is that I love Stargate, but like I just want to complain about it. You know, it's just like one of those things. Like I just want to complain about stupid story arcs that they went on for multiple seasons that were
Yeah.
stupid, and it's just like, but I love it, and you know, and this can get into my one of my notes. So I like Stargate. I love television. You know, ever since I was a kid, love television. Stargate, I loved it. Trey has never watched any show that I really like, so this conversation is going to be very. I'm gonna try to bring you in as much as I can.
Trey has never watched any show, period.
Not true.
That's not true.
What do you think your favorite show is?
Like out of anything animated
Out
or
of
not?
anything.
Whew. Well, Breaking Bad is up there for sure, but dude, I really enjoyed Death Note. Not gonna lie.
Really, Death Note.
I don't know if it's my favorite, but
That's interesting. That's an interesting answer for me.
Dude, Steins Gate was really good too. See, in my head, I'm just thinking of anime because I've been watching anime recently.
Yeah,
But I've watched plenty of like regular shows as well.
I don't think anything will ever beat, like, if I can put everything into one answer, like Stargate SG-1 and Stargate Atlantis are probably my most comfortable. I can sit down and watch whatever episode anytime.
Yeah.
Just put it on. Like, of the moment, like, there are some shows that I'm more enjoying of the moment, but I don't think there'll be any show that can, like, supersede it as, like, just put it on, you know?
Dude, there's probably like some short show that I've seen that I absolutely loved that I can't think of right now that I'll remember after we're done recording and then I'll regret it.
It's just like our conversation about, like, oh, what kind of music do you really like?
Yeah, I hate the music question. Whenever someone asks me what kind of music do you listen to, I never give a sufficient answer because if I list some bands, I'll forget a key band. If I list some albums, I'll forget a key album. Like, there's no way to, like, without saying, yeah, I'll listen to anything except for like maybe country or rap. That's the generic answer.
Just imagine it being
no,
like this.
There's no good, satisfying answer you can like tie up in a ribbon to like present to that question.
Just imagine you like get that question because everybody gets that question. It's like, what's your favorite whatever? Yeah. You go like, hold on, I have a memo pad for this.
See, it's easier when someone starts like listing off things. You're like, yeah, they're good. Yeah, they're bad. But if you're just on the spot, have to like think of stuff, it just doesn't come to you.
My answer for what music do you like is always not reggae. That's all. It's just like anything but reggae most of the time.
That's a creative one.
Yeah, that's always my answer. It's like, what specific bands? I'm like, I don't know. Theory of a Dead. Like I don't even know. Like Theory of a Dead Man. There's a couple good albums, but like I don't know.
I like Muse and the Smashing Pumpkins.
But anyway,
and the Killers.
So talking about old television shows and just television shows in general. So lately, Trey and I have been on an anime kick of sorts. Trey's been actually watching a German show lately.
Oh yeah, I started watching Dark. I'm like Netflix. 7 episodes in. It's pretty interesting. That's all I got. So.
But I've been watching. So I've been kind of on an anime kick. I've been picking through House, but whatever. But of the moment, I'm watching the new, or I guess not new, but like 5-year-old or 4-year-old Netflix reboot of Sailor Moon.
Oh yeah.
And it's called Sailor Moon Crystal, and I didn't know existed until like they made a sequel to it this year that I watched like the first half of, and then I went, oh, there's the original. Like they started it from the beginning. They rebooted it in quotes.
Wait, is it called Crystal because it's Gen 2?
Sure. Sailor Moon Crystal. Yeah, they're doing the Pokemon route.
Yeah, Pokemon joke.
And I've been watching it, and they like changed things about it. Sailor Moon I watched when I was a kid. So for quick intro, my sister was a weeb. I guess she still is a weeb, probably. And she would watch all the kid shows. Like, it was never an anime to me. It was just shows. You know, is Sonic an anime? Sonic X?
Technically, yeah, but Sonic itself is not an anime.
But like, so Sonic X is an anime?
Wait, I don't fucking know. You know what? Someone's gonna lambast, whatever. Kill me.
Is Rugrats an anime?
No, because it's not Japanese made. So,
but like, is Avatar an anime then?
That's where I don't know.
And then we're all confused. Anyway.
Wasn't Avatar... That's a North American show, right?
Yeah.
So then I guess not.
It's like
Doesn't
a Western
anime have to be made in Japan?
I don't know.
Is it
No.
like it's not Champagne unless it's made like in Champagne, France or whatever?
Yeah.
Same kind of deal?
Maybe. Anyway.
I hate that kind of stuff.
Like,
Anyway,
they were all shows. They were all shows.
Yeah,
I watched
they're all
Sailor Moon when I
shows.
was a kid. I actually watched it not fairly recently, but like a decade ago. It was all on YouTube, or a lot of it was on YouTube before YouTube like really cracked down on stuff.
Apocalypse.
So I watched a fair bit of it. I don't know how many episodes specifically, but I watched a fair bit of it a while ago. So like the old Sailor Moon from the 90s. And so I've been watching this reboot, and like I remember a fair bit from the original show, but this new reboot, the opening and endings are good. Like the songs, sick, but it feels like they changed certain things about the series, which is fine. I'm totally down with people like artistic. What is it? Artistic change,
Artistic direction,
whatever. I'm totally down. But it feels like they just made a Cliff Notes version of the series, so I'm like 11 episodes in of 39 episodes total, because there's like 3 seasons and 13 episodes each season or whatever. The original series is 200 episodes. So I don't know if these 39 episodes are trying to be 200 episodes, because I know they have like the sequel movie that came out this year called Eternal, and I watched a bit of that, and I think that was actually series as well. So I'm pretty sure they don't quite get to 200 in this, but they're like maybe 130. Who knows? I don't actually know.
But how much of that 200 just felt like filler?
I don't think I watched it all when I was a kid.
Yeah, that would be a pretty tall order, I guess.
So I don't remember, but I do
how
know like the first.
How do you even watch like the entirety of a show back in the day? Like, how do you consistently
you just
catch
miss
every
it,
episode?
and then you just miss it.
That sounds so hard to me.
And you have to like catch the episode in reruns.
Yeah.
Like as a kid, I don't know how you can like schedule that.
Dude, I'm so glad we live in the future.
God, the future's sick.
No.
But what was it? So they're like trying to abbreviate a lot of information into this one season. So I'm 11 episodes into the first season, and where I'm at in the 11th episode, and I looked at like the episode list for the original series of Sailor Moon, and I think I'm at like episode 40 or so. So 11 episodes in to this reboot, I'm 40 episodes in to where the story is, or story would be equivalent if they hadn't changed things, of the original series. So, but like the interesting thing, or a bad thing, I don't even know how to put it, is that they just kind of make the same episodes for a lot of it. Like the first 5 episodes are, if you've never watched Sailor Moon, it's just think of it as like they're gaining characters as they go, right? Where it's just like they find the next. I said the phrase Sailor Scout to Trey, and he laughed at me.
It just reminds me of Boy Scouts for some reason.
They just get a new character added to their cast every so often. It's like, oh, we found another Sailor Scout or whatever.
They're Sailor Scout.
They're Sailor Scouts. And so like the first episode happens and Sailor Moon exists, all right? And then in this new remake, episode 2 shows up and Mercury shows up. But in the original series, it was like episode 6 or so. So there's like 5 episodes where Sailor Moon's like on her own being like, I got to figure this shit out. Like on my own. I'm alone. Like this is crazy. So like her, like another friend's added to the cast, and then Sailor Mars shows up the next episode in this remake, and she's episode 10. And then there's like a solid 15 episodes of the original series where there isn't any more Sailor Scouts. It's like 14 episodes where they're just like, it's them against the world. So like Freak of the Week stuff. Just like, oh, there's a new enemy, gotta kill him. Oh, there's a new enemy, gotta kill him. Stuff like that. But in this, it's like episode 1, Sailor Moon, episode 2, new character, episode 3, new character, episode 4, break. Like there's just like, it's the same as another episode in the original series as well. Like it's a 1-for-1 copy. So far, these are 1-for-1 copies from what I can remember in the original series.
Oh, so there's some episodes where it's just like hey, can I copy your homework? Sure. And it's like the exact same thing.
But those are like the first 4 episodes. They are the same. Like, it's supposed to be more adherent to the manga. I've never read the manga.
You're not that much of a weeb. So.
Exactly. I treat the term weeb with respect nowadays. You know, I'm like, you're like, if you somehow get to the point on the mountain where you can call yourself a weeb and not be like called out or defrauded somehow by somebody else. It's like, tell me like, if you stand up to that test, you're a weeb.
Yeah, I would not even remotely stand up to that test.
Yeah, it's a horror. That's so hard. But like episode 5, Sailor Jupiter shows up in this remake. And I looked it up. I'm just like, isn't there like this huge fucking space? And she shows up in like episode 26 of the original series. But it's the same episode where she shows up. So it's like a Cliff Notes version. And it's not like, it feels like things happen in between, but we just don't see them. Where it's just like, oh, we've been doing this for a bit. But they don't expressly say that. They just kind of make the episode where they show up and go like, oh, you're Sailor Moon. And it's just like, oh, but like 3 episodes ago, she didn't exist. How much time's passed? We don't know. But I feel like watching this remake or reboot, they're calling it a reboot. I feel like you need to watch the original series at least somewhat so that you know what the fuck's going on. Because if you just watch this remake, it's just like she has abilities in one episode that she uses twice, and then they just like change. Because for all intents and purposes, it's a season later in the actual television show. And and it's just abbreviated into these 5 episodes. So it's kind of insane. But then like the last bit is an arc. Like after episode 8, it's like an arc. So they're making actually like, oh, this episode leads into this episode, like the Madoka, where it's just like an actual arc to the story. And I'm like following along and I'm cool. But for the first 7 episodes, I'm sitting there going like, this is just like, sure, this is in chronological order, but this is jumpy for sure. Like there's a definitive time jump here. I'm fairly certain.
So it's not clear how certain things happen if you only saw this.
It would be, I don't think it's confusing, but it would be just like, wait, she had a power to like transform into random, like what is it? She could transform into random roles. It's just like she becomes a stewardess one time, and she becomes like a princess one time, and she has like this magical pen that does that. But then it just kind of never gets mentioned again. But in the actual show, she uses it like every fucking episode for like 30 episodes or like a lot. She uses a fair bit, but then it just kind of goes on the wayside.
You know
but
what?
like,
you should make Stargate and Sailor Moon content.
And
talking about this exact same
I'm
thing.
not even like a huge fan of Sailor Moon. I'm just like recalling my memories, and I'm watching these 11 episodes being like, this is so like, because I know what's supposed to happen, but like, and one thing that you do lose from getting like the Cliff Notes version, in Canada they're called Cole's Notes, by the way.
Yeah, I don't know who the fuck Cole is,
but I'm saying Cliff Notes for Trey's and everybody else's benefits.
I appreciate, or Spark Notes. That's the online one.
Yeah, Spark Notes. But you lose a lot of like character development. Like we were talking about it, it's like, what's bad about filler? Like we were talking about One Piece, because apparently One Piece has 950 episodes, and just like there's so many enemies that not enemies. There's so many animes that have like hundreds and hundreds of episodes, and everyone's just like, there's way too much filler. But like every show needs filler, where it's just like, maybe it's not an episode that is super plot productive, like to the whole arc of the show, but it has character development, and you gain more respect or appreciate these characters a lot more because of something they did in this episode. And then next episode is just like, oh, that's whatever character, I liked them from doing this. And it's just like in the back of your head.
Wait, did you say that all shows need that, or just certain ones?
Like, I don't know, character-based shows, like any show. I feel like a lot of shows just need it to some extent.
I mean, even Breaking Bad had the one with the fly.
I don't know if
remember the fly episode.
Is that first 3 seasons?
I feel like it was like season 3 or something. There's just like a fly flying around the lab, and it's just Jesse
Oh yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
Walt
yeah.
trying like the whole time. And there's like it's the most controversial episode. It's like, why does that episode exist? But sometimes you need those random filler things, no
Yeah,
matter how serious the show.
You just want nothing. I always wanted in Stargate an episode where not like a huge dramatic climax happened, just to like, because a lot of the cool things about Stargate is the characters. Like the characters are what drive the show, and you can say that about pretty much like every show. Like even Dexter has its filler episodes where it's just like that wasn't required. Like it's Freak of the Week. Hey, he's gonna kill this one guy. Spoilers: Dexter kills people.
That's what I'm so far in Dark, which I started watching. I'm only 7 episodes in, but it's, as KO told me beforehand, it's like super dense, and like every detail of every scene is like important in some way, and it's almost like exhausting. Like it's a really good show, but there's so many characters you need to keep track of, and there's like every piece that they give you is like it comes back at some point, and I'll remember this guy because he comes back here, and it's interesting, but like. And maybe there is a filler episode in like season 2 or 3 because there's 3 seasons, but it's like there's like no downtime to like sort of like digest what character interactions could be like just in a non-serious thing.
Yeah,
sort of deal.
Making everything important is super exhausting, and you're right.
And I feel like that's what Dark does, is like everything is so important, but I mean, I haven't watched the whole thing yet, but yeah.
Yeah, but like as I was saying, in Stargate, all I wanted was an episode where it's not like they didn't have Freak of the Week episodes. And when I say Freak of the Week, I'm referencing like, I don't know, Buffy the Vampire Slayer or...
Yeah, I'm glad you extrapolate because I don't know what the fuck Freak of the Week
Like Freak of the Week is just like, oh, we are these characters and something is happening, and by the end of this episode, this thing is going to be solved.
I figured that's what that meant. I'm just like, yeah, Freak of the Week, totally. I know what that means, yeah.
Speedrunning is...
right, we all know what speedrunning is. It's when
anyways, it's just an issue that shows up that episode, and the characters work together with whatever the strengths that they have, and by the end of the episode, it's gone, and then the next week, something else happens, or something like story arc related happens, or whatever. But Freak of the Week episodes are important, or like... where it's just like, oh, this totally separate thing. Like, arcs are cool. Like, Dexter has an arc, and Stargate SG-1 and Stargate Atlantis have arcs, but it's not necessarily every waking moment that you have to pay attention to that arc, right?
Yeah, sometimes a filler episode, it may not seem important in the moment of just watching it, because you're like, how does this progress the plot in any way?
Yeah.
But then it might come back in a future episode that is important, because you understand why their motivation for doing something was that way based on how they act in that one episode.
Yeah. And
it all comes full circle.
Yeah, those are really cool. So when people in like One Piece fans or Naruto fans are like, oh, there's too much filler, I'm like, okay, I get it. Like, there's just not enough plot progression, but they don't hate filler, right? Because filler's cool. But anyway,
it's cool, but like not too much of it, obviously.
Yeah, but the weird thing about... So back to Sailor Moon Crystal is that it just boils it all together. And I don't want to say it makes it like Dark, but everything is important. Every single moment is important because they've boiled down however many 100 episodes into these 11. Like at this point, they've boiled 50 episodes into 13 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a lot of boiling down. Like, sure, they've brought out a lot of the filler, but at the same time, like we were saying, they brought out a lot of the character development and stuff like that. So, like, you're supposed to really like these characters at this point, or appreciate these characters.
Yeah, how can you be expected to like the characters if they just sort of throw them at you, and now they're doing stuff, but you're like, why should I care about these people?
They do, like, a solid job of that within the episodes, but they are just one for one... For a fair, as I was saying, they're like, I really like the Mercury shows up episode of Sailor Moon Crystal versus the original series. But it's like an early on episode that doesn't need a lot of backing, and it just looks better. And I like Sailor Mercury as a character, and and all that. So like that's fine, but everything else is just kind of like bleh in a way. So it's just like them trying to condense all this, and yeah, and it's a shame because the thing that really gets thrown by the wayside during this is the enemies. Like the villains of the story get very short shrift. Like there's actual arcs in the original series for the enemies, like the henchmen enemies that they have to fight for the first however many episodes. And they have arcs and they have like actual stories. And you get zero. It's actually nothing. You get nothing. You don't even get like the time that they die or like that they get, I guess, punished by their overlord or whatever, Queen Beryl, their queen. And you never see the end of their story. You always, in the original series, it's just like, oh, give me one more shot. Give me one more shot. I got it this time. And then they like get like some sort of love arc at some point and become kind of good guys. And then they just kind of, and they like get killed or whatever their ending of their arcs are. But in this, it's just like, give me one more shot. I got this. And then the next episode, they're just written out and they're just gone. I'm just like, wait, I swear he had a character. And
you just assume that shot didn't work out so well.
Yeah, it's like, maybe he's, but then they show up. So it's very odd. But apparently it's supposed to be more manga, but it's not like specifically to the, like I've seen YouTube comments where it's just like, it's not exactly to the manga, but like it's more, but it's like, it's okay.
Well, dude, manga and anime fans don't know what they want. I wouldn't read too much into that.
Well, but I read the comments all the time and just see what's up. But it is funny. Like apparently this is not well received. This reboot, quote unquote, is not well received. I've been enjoying it. This is my like in-depth review on a video game podcast about the remake of Sailor Moon that I've been watching. But I just had thoughts, you know, and like overall, it just looks better. It makes me kind of want to watch the original a little bit, like not too far, because like I've been just on this nostalgia trip, right? You know when you just go on a nostalgia search.
Oh yeah,
and you like,
dude, I do that. I think I most often do that with YouTube videos because I'll see something in my recommended or like something that reminds me. Oh yeah, I used to watch this YouTuber. I'll go like check his videos out again, and I'll just watch like several videos just from this one person I used to watch like 10 years ago.
Yeah. Like, and my equivalent is, like, I don't have a YouTube equivalent, but, like, I can't imagine I have YouTube equivalent, but it's like Sailor Moon from when I was a kid, Card Captors from when I was a kid, probably the first season of Pokemon would have something, Inuyasha, like, a lot of, like, probably Dragon Ball Z has some of that. Like, I've been just searching for it. The drip. The nostalgic drip. Like it's my birthday. I'm looking for nostalgia, you know?
Yeah.
And so yeah, I watched that, or I watched a bit of that. And like I think it's good. Like I think it's fine. It's just weird. It's weird that it's the Cliff Notes version of it. Where it just like the episode after Jupiter shows up, it's just like, oh, there's a bunch of shit happening. And
well, would you expect them to like remake all 200 episodes?
No, but like they could, I don't, like, it's weird that they just made the episodes again, but like without the episodes in between for the first 6. It's just weird.
Is it just like, is it better animated? Is that the main appeal of it?
Like, okay. Well, it's like 20 years difference. People hate. So the thing about these quote unquote magical girl anime is that like the transformations, like you know the transformations in the show where it's just like, oh
yeah, that's like the stereotypical thing that like, everyone knows.
Yeah, everybody just like
and
watches
it's
them
like the crazy rainbow effects and all this shit going on.
Yeah, and people fucking hate the transformations in this because they're like 3D animated versus like
it's not like it doesn't have any character to it.
Yeah, it's just like I guess that's a fair way to put it. Like it's just 3D animated versus.
There's something about 2D animation like that's sort of hand drawn that has this.
Yeah.
If it's not like lame Family Guy style, like it has character. Like I don't know.
I remember watching the first episode and being like, wow, what the fuck what did they do to this? And And that's what the YouTube comments are. It's just like, yeah, the transformations are fucking whoa. Like, what the fuck are these? But
ruined forever.
But I think the show's fine. You get used to the transformations. I don't give a shit. But I don't know. It's just funny that it's just a shortened version of it all. I don't know. Like I feel like it just loses something.
Fair enough.
That's my whole bit. But
well, I guess did we cover every point we had? I think I got all my stuff.
Let me look at my memo pad. It's 140 in.
I think we're at that point, y'all.
Yeah, I can save other stuff for other weeks, but yeah, I'm thank you for letting me get the Sailor Moon shit off of my chest.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, this guy, he's a Sailor Moon man.
I needed to. I needed to get it off my bow.
And as we close, for those remaining, someone in the comments who actually was crazy enough to timestamp the whole episode, what a madman. He also mentioned that apparently the podcast has been going up on Google Podcasts this whole time. So we are on Google Podcast as well as Spotify. I was not aware that Google Play transferred one-to-one all the stuff onto their new thing, Google Podcasts. So apparently they did. So yay. Cool. So we're on there as well. I updated all the descriptions to have Google Podcasts, so it's also there. Mm-hmm. But we're on our usual stuff as well. So there you go.
And we're on the Sid and Trey YouTube channel. One thing that I would like to point out for everybody that's still here, again,
if you survived the Sailor Moon talk,
hey, it was television talk. To be fair,
I'm just kidding.
But we do look through the like YouTube comments. So if you like listen on Spotify or Google Podcasts, if anybody that still listens on Google Podcasts exists, like if you like, you can go over to the YouTube channel and like leave a comment. Like you don't have to listen there or watch, but like I look through the comments. I know Trey does to some extent as well.
Yeah, I see all of them. It's
so
like 20.
If you want to just drop a comment being like sup or like that'd be really cool. And that's all I really
say
want
what's
to
up. Say, hey, I'm at work right now, but I'm listening to you guys because you guys are cool. I'm like,
that's the only thing that the only thing I see is the YouTube. So like I don't have access to the Spotify thing, so I don't know the numbers.
Honestly, I never check Spotify or especially not Google Podcasts. They're just there.
Yeah.
Because I upload it to an RSS feed, and they just boom, auto go up. So.
But yeah, the YouTube comments are sick. So.
Yeah.
Leave a comment.
And I even read all my comments on my main channel too, for better or for worse. Usually they're good, but every now and then, something that I gotta use to adapt my thick skin with, you know? Mm-hmm. But yeah, thanks for listening, everybody.
Bye. See you next week.
It's been episode 4.
Oh.
Peace.